Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight for 23 ABC News at 6. I'm Jessica Harrington. Tonight's top stories. The 2020 presidential race has begun. A look at the caucuses happening in Iowa that are now underway. Democratic candidates hoping to gain momentum among voters. And
a deadly shooting on a Greyhound bus traveling along the Grapevine, killing one woman and injuring 5 others. What officials are saying about their investigation.
And February is National Black History Month. We look at the impact of a local African-American business owner that he has here in Kern County. Allison?
And we are tracking below freezing temperatures overnight across Kern County. I have more details on a freeze warning when 23 ABC News at 6 starts right now.
Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the Iowa caucuses. Tonight is the first time voters will weigh in on their picks for the 2020 presidential nomination. We do want to show you a live look at the voting process taking place right now. It is a tight and unpredictable race. You can see people there supporting their own candidates. Now, a caucus is different from a primary. Primaries are held in several states, including California. Unlike in a primary where votes are cast anonymously, in the Iowa caucus, voters are required to show up in person and make a public declaration of their politics in front of friends, family, and neighbors. Caucus goers group up by candidate, physically positioning themselves in clusters with other like-minded voters. The supporters for each candidate are then tallied up. If any group has less than 15% support, it is considered non-viable, and members of that group have the chance to recruit undecided voters to surpass the 15% minimum or join other viable groups. Support for each candidate is then tallied again. As you can see, there are plenty of clusters here. Many people showing up at this hour as this is underway. We're going to continue to follow this throughout the evening. Now, voters heading to more than 1,600 caucus sites across the state of Iowa. Democratic candidates spending the final leading up to tonight canvassing and holding events, trying to win over last-minute undecided voters. The 3 senators in the race spending the day in Washington for closing arguments in President Trump's impeachment trial before rushing back to Iowa for tonight's results.
This is the first day that we can actually make a mark.
I can't wait for America to find out tonight just how robust and strong our support is.
The Republican Party is also holding caucuses tonight, though President Trump only has 2 long-shot challengers. He tweeted earlier encouraging Republicans in Iowa to still, quote, go out and caucus today. Officials continue to investigate a deadly shooting on a Greyhound bus traveling on the Grapevine, leaving 1 woman dead and injuring 5 others in Lebec shortly before 1:30 this morning. 23 ABC's Bayan Wang has been following the incident throughout the day and joins us live from Lebec tonight. Bayan?
Jessica, the scene here at the Valero gas station has cleared up. Several hours ago, a complete different story. The California Highway Patrol saying that a Greyhound bus traveling on Interstate 5 north, just a few minutes north of Fort Tejon, was traveling down on the Interstate 5 when a shooting rang out. Passengers immediately took action, according to CHP, disarming the shooter, throwing him off on the shoulder of the Grapevine before the bus drove a few additional miles, took the next exit, ended up here at the Valero gas station where it remained for about 12 hours as CHP officials processed the scene. We spoke to one passenger when they arrived, and this is what they had to say.
After I saw the shots, I literally turned around and tried to hide myself in the seats. It's just so hard to imagine yourself in that situation. So you just don't know how to react, and you just freeze almost.
Preventative measures for safety are, a spokeswoman said that they were not able to provide those details, but said in part that their thoughts and prayers are with the victims involved. Now, we also spoke to one mother who picked up her daughter who was a passenger on board the Greyhound bus, and she said she was devastated.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful that my daughter and my granddaughter made it. I was scared, devastated.
Now, there's a lot of different elements to this investigation, according to the CHP. One of them, maybe a very significant piece of information, would be what they're able to get off of the surveillance cameras that were on the Greyhound bus. Now, they said that they have reached out to the Greyhound bus company to see whether it was operating at the time. They haven't confirmed whether they've seen any footage yet, but we'll be sure to keep you updated with that information. We'll be posting updates on our website, turn23.com, and have live updates at our 11 p.m. show. For now, live at the base of the Grapevine, Bayon Wang, 23 ABC, connecting you.
All right, Bayon, thanks. New details tonight. Officials are investigating the death of a convicted child molester as a homicide at Kern Valley State Prison in Delano. 50-year-old Noah Rutherford died from injuries he received during an attack by his cellmate in November of last year. He was transported to a nearby hospital immediately following the attack and later died from his injuries. His cellmate at the time of the attack, Stephen Law, has been identified as the suspect of the homicide. 47-year-old Law has been placed in segregated housing at Kern Valley State Prison, pending an investigation into his involvement. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation press release records, this is the 5th inmate homicide at Kern Valley State Prison in the last 12 months. The Kern County Sheriff's Office needs your help in locating a missing woman. Maria Estrada was last seen nearly 8 years ago on June 27, 2012 in Bakersfield. It's unknown what Maria is wearing. She's a 59-year-old Hispanic woman, about 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing around 191 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If anyone has any information regarding her whereabouts, they are asked to call KCSO at 861-3110.
Cooler temperatures was the story today across the region as a cold front swept through last night. So we are seeing right now temperatures in the 40s here in Bakersfield, 47 degrees, 44 up in Delano and McFarland, already dipping down into the 20s in our mountains, and they are expecting to see below freezing temperatures overnight. So our high today was 53 degrees. That's 7 degrees below average, and last night's low was 32, and you can expect to see 30 degrees as our low here in Bakersfield. So what we are tracking is a freeze warning beginning at midnight tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Those overnight lows could be as low as 25 degrees in the San Joaquin Valley. So make sure that you are bringing your pets inside and covering any of those exposed pipes or any sensitive vegetation. And you can expect to do this again for your Tuesday evening. We are tracking a freeze watch then, but I have more details on what that means for temperatures tomorrow afternoon coming up next.
2 people have been arrested and an illegal gaming facility in East Bakersfield has been shut down. According to Bakersfield police, a search warrant was executed around 9:20 last night at the facility located on Niles Street near Gage Street. Officers say 3 large gaming tables were seized along with money. 30-year-old Adam Lara and 20-year-old Sergio Grajeda Berlenga was arrested for possession of illegal gaming devices and maintaining an illegal gaming facility. Both have been booked into the Kern County Jail. Here at 23 ABC, we are celebrating Black History Month by highlighting African American history right here in our community. Tonight, 23 ABC's Leslie Gooden spoke with a local business owner in East Bakersfield who continues to give back to the community and inspire future generations. Leslie?
Yes, good evening. Henry Shipes, the owner of Mr. Discount Plus store, says for the past 70 years, his family has served East Bakersfield community. Shipes says his business is more than just a store, but also a community space to help those in need in his neighborhood.
I grew up in this neighborhood and when it was all black-owned businesses, and that's one of the things that keep me inspired, want me to continue to operate, to have a store, because I'm the last of the stores that was in this neighborhood.
Just off of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in East Bakersfield lies the Mr. Discount Plus store, owned by Bakersfield native Henry Shipes. The store is filled with everything from groceries, hair products, and other household items. He says he reflects on the time as a child on what this store means to him.
During the Civil Rights Movement, Dr. King opened doors to us, because that was one of the things that Dr. King was probably going to stress, that in order to keep our stores open, we got to still continue to support those stores.
Shipes' family has had this store in this area for the past 70 years.
This used to be Cottonwood Road at one time. And there was this whole mile long stretch, like say you take from Brunish Lane to East California. Just all the stores along that corridor was business district.
He says his family was one of 30 to 40 mom and pop shops at one point that was filled throughout the East Side. Shipes says majority were all African American owned. He says he continues to stay here as an example to future generations by offering a space for many community organizations.
I try to keep my property open and available for activity. I have different organizations that come from time to time to approach me about doing events here on the lot. We have like clothes giveaway. Sometimes we have, just like during the Martin Luther King holiday, we have a dinner here. During Thanksgiving, we feed the community.
Shipes says each year is becoming more difficult to stay open with less people shopping at small businesses. Another reason for the closing of many other past neighboring shops.
If we don't start putting businesses in our own neighborhood, we talk about unemployment, we can't create those jobs. In order for us to create those jobs, we got to support stuff within our neighborhoods.
And you can catch Shipes at this store every day except on Sunday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., keeping his history and legacy alive. If you know someone in your community, in our community, who you think deserves to be recognized, be sure to email us at news@kero.com. For now, in studio, Leslie Gooden, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
All right, Leslie.